again, everybody. My name is Mr. Drain, teacher of numeracy and mathematics at Highland Virtual Academy. Today, we're going to consolidate our understanding of finding non-unit fractions of a given quantity. And once again, I've used some slides generated by the Oak National Academy and a teacher called Mr. Etherton. So again, thank you for allowing us to use them. Okay, in this lesson, we will consolidate the learning from the previous lesson, and we will be using our multiplication and division facts to become more confident with finding non-unit fractions of amounts. Again, today, you'll only need a pen or pencil and a piece of paper or your jotter. If you don't have these items, pause the video now and go and collect them. Perfect. Let's begin. So, the warm-up task is basically some multiplication and division triangles to show the relationship and inverse between these numbers. Okay, pause the video for 20 seconds and see if you can find out what goes in the square boxes. Great. Hopefully, you have spotted that the answers are these. So in the first triangle, we can see that 9 times 3 would be 27. 27 divided by 9 would give me 3. And 27 divided by 3 would give me 9. Okay, we would call the multiplication and division calculations here as inverses of each other. And in the second triangle, we would have 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. And 14 divided by 7 is 2. And in the same way, we would have a 10 in the third triangle there. Right. As we go through the lesson, number of star words that we'll use. So we'll use things like non-unit fraction, quantity, whole, denominator, numerator, and in particular, divide and multiply, or multiple. So let's begin. Now, last time, I really encouraged you to draw the bar diagrams, okay, when you're doing these questions. This time, you don't need to do that as such, but of course, you're always allowed to do it if you want to use it. But the whole idea today is that we're trying to encourage you to move away from that to try and be able to do these questions a little bit quicker. So in this one here, where I've got 2/3 of 15, the 3 at the bottom tells me that I'm wanting to split 15 into 3 different pieces. So your step 1 is divide the whole by the denominator. So you're going to divide 15 by 3. And 15 divided by 3 is going to be 5. Okay, now if we had drawn our bar diagram, then we would have had a whole rectangle equal to 15, and each part would be worth 5, and that's why we have 15 divided by 3 equals 5. We then need to do step 2, multiply the part by the numerator, so the part being the 5 in here, and the numerator being the 2. Okay, effectively we want 2 parts of our diagram over here. So we're going to do 5 times 2. And that is going to give me 10. Okay, and obviously it'd be nice to show in the diagram that we're just talking about 2 of these parts here. Okay, 3/4 of 28 then. You try this one. Pause the video now and have a go. Right, so 3/4 of 28. Step 1, divide the whole by the denominator. So that's going to be your 28 divided by 4. If I was looking over on my bar diagram over here, then the whole thing is 28. Split the thing up into 4 equal pieces would be 7, 7, 7, and 7. And therefore, 28 divided by 4 is going to be 7. Okay. Now, we need to multiply the part by the numerator. So we're going to have 7 times 3, which is 21. And therefore, 7 times 3 is going to be 21 in there for it. So we could say that 3/4 of 28 is going to be equal to 21. Well done if you managed to get that one correct. Okay, so we have our rule now for calculating the fraction of the amount. Step 1, we take the whole divided by the denominator to get the part answer, 7. That tells me what 1/4 is, and then 3/4, we times the 7 by 3 to get 21. Okay, so on the next slide, can you pause the video and have a go of these questions here? Okay, well done. How did that go? Let's have a look. So, first one, 2/5 of 15 equals 6. Question 2, 3/4 of 32 would be 24. Question 3, sorry about the 2 there, 7/8 of 16 is going to be 14. And then in number 4, George's friend received 32 Lego pieces. Okay. Now, if you had any of them wrong, then you could go through the video again and have a look and see what you missed. But here in the slides, we have the working out for each one as well. Okay. Number 2 now. So we're going to do the sort of the opposite of what we did before. So we're going to do it like we did yesterday. If 2/3, or 2/3 of a number, is 10, what is the value of the whole number? So we're telling you the part this time, and we're trying to get the whole. So if that's the case, we want to try and see, first of all, what happens when we divide the fraction value by the numerator. Okay, so the fraction value is like our part, which is 10. So we're going to divide 10 by 2. Okay, because we know that 2/3 is equal to 10. So therefore 10 divided by 2, which will tell me what each third is worth. So 10 divided by 2 is going to be equal to 5. Okay, so 10 divided by 2 equals 5. That means that each part is worth 5. If I had my bar diagram, then over here, remember we don't know the whole. 10 divided by 2 would be 5. So each part has 5 in there. Okay, and now what we know is that we want all 3 parts, because this is what 1 part is worth. So effectively, we need to times it by 3, our denominator. So we're going to do 5 times 3, which is going to give us 15. Okay, and if we drew our diagram with it there, we'd have a 5 in the last column, 3 5s would be 15 in there. Okay, your turn. Pause the video here and have a go. Okay, so let's have a look and see how you got on with this one. If 4/6 of a number is 8, what is the value of the whole? To begin with then, we want to try and divide the fraction value by the numerator. So the part value of the fraction value is 8, and we're going to divide it by the numerator, which is 4. Okay, effectively what we're being told here is that 4 parts of a whole is equal to 8, and we want to know what one of those parts is worth. So we're going to do 8 divided by 4, which gives us 2. Okay, so we know that 1 part, or 1/6, is equal to 2. Then we want to know how many parts would make it whole. So of course, because it's in 6, we have to times the 2 by 6 now to match those gaps that we have there in it. So we're going to have 2 times 6, which gives us 12. And we can kind of see that on our bar diagram down here as well with it, our bar model. Okay. A little recap of what we've just done there. If you need to go through this, pause the video here, have a look through it. If not, can you now have a shot of the following exercise? Okay, so part 2, try these 2 questions here. Pause the video and give them a go. Great. If you think you've managed to do them, well done for having a go, and we can see how you got on with them here. Okay, so for the first one, the value of the whole is 28. Remember, we would have done 12 divided by 3 to begin with. Okay, so the part divided by the numerator, 3, gives me 4, and then 4 times 7 gives me 28. On number 2, we're going to do 50 divided by 5, which is £10. And then we're going to times that 10 by the 9 to get £90 for it there. Okay, effectively we've worked out what 1/9 is, and then we get 9/9 by times it by 9. Okay, that's taken us to the end of this lesson, but we have a knowledge quiz ready to check your understanding of what you learned today. So in the comment section below, you can click on the link for the knowledge quiz, okay, or the end of lesson quiz, or if you have the slides open, click on this link here for the slides. Coming up afterwards, we have half an hour where we can go over some of the trickier questions with you if you had any issues, and then later in the day, we can meet up and you can share any good work that you've done. Okay, so I'll speak to you in a little while. Goodbye.